Okay, why don't we go ahead and get started? Again, with you want to mute yourself, and then you can leave any questions in the chat, and at the end we will have a Q&A. First, I'll just introduce myself for folks who don't know who I am. My name's Diane Chapita, and I am the manager for the network and programs at the Illinois Farm to School Network. I work at 7 Generations Ahead, who hosts the network across the state. And we're going to go through some preliminary procurement and then a few other extras today. And I will be sending a follow-up email to everyone who registered for the webinar tomorrow, which will have PDF of the slides. So the links will be live in case you want to pop on any of the links on the slides. And I will be sending a few other documents and links within the email. So tomorrow, make sure you look for the follow-up email so you have the resources and information that you need. Okay, Caroline, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple things very quickly and a couple other things a little bit longer because we have a lot to cover. I really want to take you through just a quick synopsis of the process for sourcing local foods. And this is a combination. Yep, somebody's not muted. Okay, all right. So we're gonna go through the best practices for procurement, and we always remind everyone to please contact ISB if you have any questions about local procurement, about the regs, or the best the tools they have to help you, their best practices. We tried to combine everything together just to give you an overall look about it, so you have options, right? So you can see it from, I guess, a longer distance. And we're going to go through some resources. I'm taking you into the Illinois Market Maker website today, and I'm going to show you the newly rebuilt Illinois Farm to School Network profile that I put up yesterday afternoon, and give you a walkthrough and explain what you're going to find there and how valuable of a tool this is going to be. And we're also going to be showing you a very short 7-minute video that gives you the perspective from a school, from a farmer, and from a local food hub all at the same time. So you can understand a little bit more about the relationships you're building. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Next slide. Okay, so I'm going to take you through all the finer points for developing a process to procure. And this is up to every single food service director to decide how they're going to set this up in their food service. Again, you have to follow ISB regulations. It's very important that you are aware of all of them and that you pay close attention to what you're doing. But once you get your process set up, it becomes easier. It really does. I've worked with schools one-on-one to do this. And once they actually have something written down, they have a process that they're following, it's a lot easier for them to search for local foods, to put out a bid for local, to find, three producers and do the 3 bids and a buy if they qualify for that. There's so many different advantages to having it written down so you follow it the same way every time. So go ahead, next slide. And I don't want anyone to take a deep breath and fall off their chair. This is quite advanced as far as a diagram goes. Let's not get our onions in a bunch here. Just think about, this tells you pretty much everything to think about and focus on, and make sure that you've checked the box on. So this diagram is created to help you section out different aspects of local procurement and thinking further down the road. So what you're going to see is the basics. Okay, again, we've got somebody, looks like Gonzalez isn't muted. Maybe mute yourself, please. Okay, so this is going to kind of give you an idea of what you need to be aware of, especially the very first row, the initial procurement safety check for what you're going to be buying. And it basically just the finer points of what you should be looking at when you're going to buy local. You always need to have that conversation with your county sanitarian. That's a rule. All right. And you basically tell them that you're looking to buy local. If you have LFS funds, if you don't, if you're just, dipping your toes into farm to school. And then on the farm, it gives you a few points to be aware of. And again, this is something that we share with our farmers when we're training them on the flip side. So what they're going to be doing is they're actually going to be looking to make sure that they provide information about their liability insurance, about their food safety plan on the farm. They're going to be able to know to provide their results of their annual water test. And then there's always a good idea to talk to your admin at your district to make sure that you're covering all the rules and regs, especially if your district has additional rules that you need to be aware of. And it's just a really good idea to make sure you check all the boxes on this to be sure that you're doing it correctly. And then if you move over to the row that's in blue, it takes you into menuing and it takes you into things to think about when you're looking to buy local. And then it asks you to consider all your programs, not just your lunch program, but maybe your school breakfast program. Are you a seamless summer site? Are you going to be serving food in the summer? Consider everything that you do when you're thinking about buying local, or you're looking to put out bids for local. So you're not just using it in one place. Maybe you can use one item in two different spots, or maybe you can switch over to summer and procure during summer when everything's coming in fresh and there's a lot of it, right? The summer prices will go down as the season moves forward because when by August we hit what we call the summer glut, and that's when everything comes in like crazy and they have so much to move that they're willing to reduce their prices to sell more. So wholesale takes on a whole new look at the end of July. So it's just something to consider when you're creating your procurement process. Are you considering all your options? Are there ways that you can use this local in other areas, or is it just going to be on your lunch tray? And then you're going to be working on bidding. And again, ISBE is there to help you if you need assistance. They can help you through things. There are tons of resources on this. I just mentioned two processes that have a tendency to be utilized a lot for local. And it also gives you kind of, when you go through it, it gives you the points to remember, the points to consider. And then it also tells you as it heads toward the right side of the diagram to make sure you're ready to adjust and substitute. Food is grown outside, right? Unless you're working with an indoor grower, and even an indoor grower, a hydroponic or another setup, they're going to have issues come up every now and then. And so because everything's either weather driven or driven by accidents within the hydroponic system or failures, what you're going to see is occasionally you're not going to get everything you've bid out for. And so you're going to need to have a plan to adjust, to substitute, to be able to carry your menus forward. And that is true. And it was even true during COVID with food supply lines, right? So, when you're buying local, there are hiccups here and there. And you're going to need to be ready to deal with the hiccups. And, you can't stop it from raining and you can't stop it from being super dry outside. So, again, this is just being ready for any kind of instance or anything that comes up. And then as you execute, there's always opportunities to promote. The more you promote, the more it's accepted, the more the kids like it, the more the parents hear about it, the more you're connecting your community to your school or to your feeding site. And it's an all around bonus and a benefit The more you put it out there, the more you connect your food to taste tests, celebrations, education. The more you get it embedded into your site, the more success you will have with it. And then also cross-connecting to other programs, at your school district or at your feeding site. Do you have FFA? Do you have a garden program? Do you have a culinary arts program? All these things can connect to what you're doing on your tray, and it can really make a big difference. I've seen schools that will cross connect until there's nothing left to cross connect to, and they have very, very, I guess, sustainable programs and well participated programs. So they've got the kids behind them because the kids love it. And they also have teaching staff behind them, and they have the garden people behind them, and working together, then you can develop celebrations. If you have a garden group at your district, you can have them host demonstrations or an information booth during lunch hour that the littler kids can walk up to and learn of, see how a seed grows, learn about what they're growing in the garden. If you have FFA, the older kids can come in, and again, they can partake in any kind of lunchtime booster where they're demoing something or just having a display, and it helps them too because then they boost their interest in FFA. So all these connections together, when you're buying local, really make a world of difference. Okay, next page. All right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about creating a buyer profile. We covered this in January at the conference, at the Buy Local conference, Everything Local conference, and I'm going to go through it again very briefly today. I will be providing you with this document in tomorrow's email, so you can go ahead and download it. It'll be in Word, it'll be in PDF, and you can also save it as a Google Doc. And what this will do is it'll give you the opportunity to work on it when you have time, when you're eating lunch at your desk, however it may fold out to be, but it will give you all the information you need in one document that you can share broadly with producers. You can then take this document, you can create a profile on the Market Maker site. It's all your information kind of in one spot. And you can change it as things go. You can make it flexible. But I'm going to take you through just a little bit about this, and then tomorrow I will send these documents to you. So go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, so like I said, this is a resource to share. This is something that you can create, and you can adjust this any way you like as well. This is just, a basic document that we created, but you can add things to it. You can take things away. It's up to you, however you want it to look. And it's just going to ask you basic questions. So this is just the first page, and there's only 3, and they're very widely spaced. So it's not like, you have to write a book. It's just asking you basics. So, if you look at the purchasing information, your billing cycle timeline, ask the business office how long it is. Is it 30 days, 60, 90? Are there any adaptations allowed? So, if a farmer can't wait 90 days for payment because holy cow, that's a long time in his world, can you ask on behalf of the farmer for a shortened cycle? And will your business office allow it? All these things you have to think about, because eventually they're going to be asked by the farmer. They're going to want to know things. They're going to also want to know your bidding process. So you share it here. If you want to add a separate document with your bidding process, it's great. But this is just something you can initially hand any farmer you talk to, any food hub, any producer. It's something to give them, to put in their hands. And actually, when they have the information in their hands, it's amazing how fast they'll react to it. When you call them and just kind of give them a vague description of what you're looking for, that's great, but it's also vague. When you tell them you would like to send this to them via email, then you've got it in their hands, and now they're looking at something solid. So this just goes on through basic requirements for delivery. It goes through what you're requiring from them for food safety. And then the next 2 pages list what you're looking for and in what form. So now you're going to think about produce. If you're looking for lettuce, you're looking for cases of lettuce. What kind of pack are you used to? What would be acceptable? And how often, what's the months you're going to be ordering it. So you can't order lettuce in January unless it's an indoor grower. But maybe if you're doing summer feeding, you can do lettuce from May when it actually starts becoming available all the way through to where it gets too hot to grow lettuce, so July. Right? And this is going to, again, depend on where you are in Illinois. So you're going to be aware of your seasons. And if you're not, I can supply that for you, especially now that the USDA has changed their growing seasons across Illinois. All the zones have changed. So you might want to just be sure of when the vegetables are coming in or when they're anticipated to come in and end, and see what applies to your school year. So this is going to be a document I'm going to share with you. You can fill it out. You can also send back your filled out version, and I can add it to a book that we're forming with the Land Connection to actually have these available to any farmer online who wants to see them. And this is a great way, to, again, to get your name out, and you can also use this for your market maker account. Okay, next slide. Okay, now we're going to go through Market Maker, and this is, I know a couple of different webinars were created for Market Maker already, but I'm going to kind of take you in a little more personal. I've already been in there. I've already developed an account. I know what's available. I've searched when schools contact me and say, I need help trying to find farmers. This is where I go, and this is how I search. And this is a great opportunity and an engine that you can search from. I can't even begin to tell you how wonderful this website is. Anytime I'm looking for something, I find it here. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go to the search, and I'll just show you the general process. We're going to look for lettuce today because I know lettuce is out right now, and what we're going to do is when we look for lettuce, there's all these different categories. The location, you can put in your zip code and put 50 miles around. There's also a new category. Ooh, look at this, underserved. Now, if you're doing LFS funds, this is going to help you answer that question, right? So we're going to, any of these, you're going to click on any of them so you can actually see who's there. Okay, and let's see, let's find an example. How about Eden Place, because that's in Chicago. And you're going to think, oh yeah, Chicago, farmer, yeah, they're not going to be able to get to us, but you don't know that yet, right? So if you look at the left-hand side, it gives you all the specific information you need. All right, and there's a contact link on there. If you're a little shy on the phone, there's actually a way to send them an email message. So you can introduce yourself. You can attach your buyer profile. You can ask them if they're interested in having a conversation with you, what you're looking for, who you are, how many kids you're serving. And then if you look further down, you'll see their affiliations. Affiliations are members of groups, groups that they're a member of. And if you look at that, you'll see the Illinois product from, it looks like Homegrown Heroes. Now you have a veteran here, right? So check, there's a box, right? And it will take you to wherever. If you're not sure what the affiliation is, you can look them up right on the website so you can be sure. And then if you look, you'll see that you can have, they'll have wholesale listed. Methods of sale is pretty important because if there's wholesale listed, they're in the game. If it isn't listed, you can ask them if they do some wholesaling, if you really think they're a good candidate. But by listing that they're a wholesaler, right now they know how to pack. They have a wash and pack house. They know what they're doing. And if you look on the left again, you'll see certifications. If they have a GAP certification, if they have a USDA stamp, if they're, say, a beef, a beef outfit, and if they're going to have a USDA stamp, which is required for processing for schools for beef, it'll be listed there. And then they also have all their products listed. So they go beyond lettuce, right? And now you're looking and you're like, huh, I never thought of that before, right? So now you can see everything they're growing and you have an idea of who they are. So if you go back up to the top of the frame, what you'll see is a little orange button that says Shop Now. When you click that, it takes you to their website or their Facebook page or wherever else they happen to be located, and they will actually have, again, you can look at pictures, you can look at more information, you can see who they are, right? But this is all available for you right on this website. And this is what's really nice. Being a member is free, by the way. Having a profile is free. There's very little skin in the game here. It's really easy to create this, and it's very beneficial. Okay, so the next part we're going to look at is going to be, we're going to go back to search. And what I'll do is I'll take you to our page. So if you put in the search bar Illinois, just the word Illinois, we will come up. And you can scroll down and we should be right there. There we are. Okay, so this is our page, all right? And if you look, I built this yesterday. We had an original page that wasn't working, so I dumped it and rebuilt it. And it didn't take me long at all because I already knew what I wanted to put on there and I already had the information. So if you have your profile filled out, you have the information. And if you look, what you'll see is there's live links here. In my wording, you can create live links anywhere you want, and it will take them to the live link. And then you can also, on the left-hand side, you can list any affiliations. Now, if you're a school, you're going to list us as an affiliation. So they'll see that Illinois Farm to School Network is one of your affiliations, and they'll understand you're doing farm to school. All right. And then as you go down further, I have B2B connections. That's business to business. And if you look at these are all the folks I put in just yesterday that are members of the Illinois Farm to School Network. And these folks will actually they'll be set up for farm to school. So you see there's so many possibilities here. We also have photos. And you can put in photos of anything you want from your school. As long as you don't have kids' faces, you should be good to go. But it gives you an idea, it gives you things to share, right? So the person who you're trying to buy from can see who you are. And then there's also files, and the files are all PDFs. And this is just information for anyone who comes on my profile, but it has, you can go from, I went from programming to the coalition PDF because we invite folks to be in the coalition. And that includes schools, by the way. And it also goes to PDFs about how to connect to farmers. And then for farmers, how to connect to schools, right? So I've put in everything that's pertinent for my business, I guess, or this would be your host site. So this would be your district, right? And you can very easily add this stuff. It's extremely user-friendly, especially for me. I'm not like I'm a spring chicken, and on a good day I get confused. But when I went on this site to rebuild my website, and I actually got rid of the old one and started a new one. Once you're signed in and you actually verified your login, there's a button that says create your page. I mean, it is so easy to do. And once you get in there, it's very easy to add things. If you don't have time, you can save it and you can go back in later and edit it and keep adding. It goes on and on and on. And it's very helpful. And I also have send me a message. I put in an email address, which is farm2school at 7gen. And that pops up automatically so they can instantly connect to me. So, it's kind of like it does all the work for you. There's also, she's circling social media. So you can put your social media accounts. You can have your website listed for the school district. Anything you want can be in here. It's very user-friendly, easy to do. And I got to tell you, it's very beneficial. By doing this, by taking the first 20 minutes to initially get the account set up, it gives you every opportunity. And you can also sign up for emails for what I'm going to show you next. And we're going to go back to the main page. Okay, and then we're gonna go to the buy sell. And buy sell is a forum. Okay, and this forum is anyone who's selling and folks who are interested in buying. So what we're gonna do is we're going to look for eggs. Okay, and we're gonna put it in looking to buy. You can also put it in looking to sell, because what comes up is all the buyers who are selling. It's a little confusing, but it works very well. And what you're going to see are eggs that are on sale that are in the forum. And these are people who want to move their eggs. They want to sell. They, they may have overages, or they may just be looking for new customers. Ooh, new customers! What a concept! So this is kind of what you're going to see. You can hit. We're going to look at. Let's see, Cadoodle. Cadoodle, I actually shared one of their videos in my last newsletter. So Cadoodle is an Illinois seller, okay? And what you're going to see is all the pertinent information, including their contact us. You can send an email. You can actually click on the Cadoodle and go to their website. There's all these different ways that you can connect to them and look to see what they have. Oh, look, and now they're going to tell you a price per unit. They're going to tell you the size. They're going to tell you the total quantity. They're going to ask you to please inquire if it's wholesale, which is what you're going to want to do anyway, so you can see if there's interest. And there's also going to be delivery, and with them, it's cost per loaded mile. So, this is going to be all the information you need. Occasionally on the buy sell forum, you're going to find producers from other states. And it's very easy just looking, oh no, it's Texas beef, nope, and go back up, because Market Maker goes across the entire US. And so you'll see sometimes in the buy sell, you'll see offers from other states. But if you're a school district on the edge of Illinois, on any of the edges of Illinois, then maybe Iowa might work. Maybe Wisconsin might work for you. There's in Indiana, there's, even Kentucky, if you're way down on the southern tip, right? So, it might not be such a horrible thing if you click on one and it's a Kentucky producer and you happen to be in Carbondale. So this is kind of another part, and you can sign up for the buy sell local forum emails. You can ask to have them delivered once a week to your inbox, and then you can see what all the hot sales are, who's new on the list, who's selling what, and if there's anyone looking to buy, which is usually farmers that are looking to buy packaging, but you can put yourself in there as a buyer looking to buy, right? So now you have yet another option on the website. You can actually go into the buy sell and add your own information and list yourself as a buyer looking to buy whatever, right? And this will give you a much better opportunity for contacts, because if those farmers see it and they sell it and they're in your area, or they're close enough, or they have a delivery route heading your way, they will contact you. And they can contact you via email or phone or both, whatever you prefer. So this is just letting you see this website and understanding the benefits, right? For very little input and for very little of your time, you can actually create an account, and you can become a buyer on this account, and you can have these connections spring up constantly. You can put yourself out to bid, or prior to putting yourself out to bid, you can make that announcement on buyer, and say that, we're a school district, we're going out to bid for local foods. These are the items we're looking for. Please contact me at, right? So now you have more possibilities. It's a great opportunity to spread your wings as a buyer and get your name out there and actually see what's around too, because you may be surprised by what you find when you're in the search engine and you're looking for different things. you'll find other things. And those other things will kind of get your wheels turning a little bit and go, huh, why did I not think of yogurt? Or why did I not think of chicken? Or, why wasn't I thinking protein at all? Yeah, I mean, it kind of gets you to think about the whole that's out there and available, everything that's possible. Okay, so we're going to pop out of Market Maker. And we're going to go, I think, to the next slide. Okay, now I'm going to talk a little bit about places to go to use the food, right? You're buying food, you may have a salad bar, great. But there's other ways to utilize local that you might not realize. Local has a higher price tag and it's a better value. It's actually a increased value, I would say, with food. It's different from the food you buy normally, and it is an addition, but it can be utilized in more than one way. So Illinois Harvest of the Month, we've had this program up and running since, I'm going to say 2018, I think is when we built it. I'm trying to remember. And at first we had it as a trial, and then we had it as a register with quarterly reports, and now it's an open registration. So we no longer need funding for it. So it's actually, all you have to do is send me an email and say, I'd like to register for Harvest of the Month. I'm a school, it's a garden interest, or it's a food service side interest, or, I'm a feeding site, but I'm not a school, I'm an early care, whatever it is, whoever it is you are, you just let me know so I can guide you in the right direction on the website. But the Illinois Harvest of the Month, everything else is up to you. I don't tell you how to do it. I don't give you a monthly vegetable or fruit that you have to feature. Everything we do is broken down into whether it will suit your site, whether you can, obtain the fruit or vegetable, or whether you can connect to your garden to utilize the fruit or vegetable. It's all up to you. So it's wide open. What we do provide you with is 38 different toolkits for 38 different foods. And what that does is it gives you the opportunity to use it when you need it, when you want it, or when you can access it, or when it works best. So it's up to you to choose what you're going to feature. It's not a monthly choice on our calendar. It's a seasonal calendar. And the reason why we did this was the state of Illinois is not quite 400 miles long. It covers 2 completely different growing zones. So the folks down south have strawberries right about now. Down in the southern tip, the folks up in the northern part, strawberries are just a distant dream in June. So, this is why we've made this open. You can choose what you're gonna utilize, how you're gonna use it. If you're gonna do a celebration in the cafeteria, if you're gonna share curriculum with the teachers, if you're going to do a taste test, if you're going to use it as an ingredient as opposed to a full-fledged side. So, we have one section that's a toolkit for honey. Now, honey is expensive, so is maple syrup, but they both have a toolkit. The reason being, they make a great ingredient. So if you don't want to use it as a whole, you can use it as an ingredient in a recipe. And what does honey work really well in? Baking. It also works really well in a vinaigrette. Same thing with maple syrup, baking, vinaigrettes, a sauce, a marinade, any kind of thing that you can think of. You can utilize those 2 products. So you don't have to put honey out on the counter and watch your dollars fly out the door. What you can do is maybe have just a small sample of honey so the kids can stick their finger, in a tiny little paper cup on their tray to see what honey really tastes like, and then put it in a vinaigrette that's going to go on a side salad, or put it in a marinade that was for a piece of chicken that you sourced locally. It's so many different ways to tie these things together. And what these toolkits provide you with is everything you can possibly need to do it. There's credited recipes recipes for CACFP and for National School Lunch and Breakfast. There is a whole toolkit that includes fun facts, history, lore, nutrition facts. It actually connects the recipes that are in the massive recipe box right to the ingredient. So the broccoli page will actually, when you scroll down, will have recipes for each category of user. So there'll be an early child care category, there'll be a K-12 category recipe, and there'll also be a family or home recipe. And that allows you to print off these little sheets of paper that we actually have ready. You just put the name of your district in and fine tune the wording. You can print them off and stick them in backpacks going home for the younger kids. And it has a recipe on it that they can try at home with their kids. And you can say, we're featuring broccoli this month. And our broccoli comes from this farm. And that form allows you to fill in those blanks. And then it'll have a recipe on it, and it'll have a little tearaway piece at the bottom saying, did you make the recipe? Were your kids involved? Did they like it or not like it? What were their thoughts? And they can rip off that bottom piece of the paper and send it back in the backpack. And now you have feedback. So now you're making that connection to the folks at home who are feeding the kids that you're feeding, right? So you're both feeding the same child. Now you're connecting what you're doing to the folks at home. And it also inspires families at home to pay more attention to what you're doing to improve the lunch tray, to what you're doing to help your community, to work with your community, and to teach their kids about food. Right? So all these different pieces are within the harvest of the month. And it's up to you to decide what you're going to use and what you're not going to use. I do know that it's very easy. It's place and press. You can download anything, including the logos. You can put the logos on your nutrition page on your website. You can use the logos on your letterhead going home. You can create posters and put them up on the wall. You can do announcements in the morning, and we actually have blurbs for announcements in those toolkits if you want to use them, or you can create your own. We've had some districts create some very funny announcements about food, and they've gotten a lot of, I guess, mileage out of those announcements because now the kids are curious. So they're coming down to the cafeteria and going, I've been hearing about these beets. I don't like them, but I'll taste them. Right? Because now there's all these funny announcements about beets going to be on the menu, right? And these beets are local and they came from this farm and it's December and they still have them and they're selling them because they are a storage crop. And what is a storage crop? Now you can explain to the kids what a storage crop is. So see, you're getting this food education built in to everything you do with Harvest of the Month. And you can take it as far as you want or as little as you want. It's up to you. It's whatever you can manage at your site with your time, with your staff. But it's a great way to tie in what you're buying locally into what you're doing on the tray, sending the curriculum to the teachers that's included in the toolkits and say, if anybody wants to use it, we're going to be doing beets in this month. Are you going to be doing any kind of education that we could use with beets? We have curriculum. If you're interested, you can connect to everyone in your district, and you can do it through your principals. So when they're doing their teacher meetings, they can share the information. You can put it on your website on the section of the websites that's just for employees. There's all these different ways you can do this, and this program is 100% free. It's just up to you to use it. It's up to you to go through and decide what you're going to utilize. And because we're seeing a lot for the first time since LFS started protein purchases, I am now building out a complete protein toolkit, and it's going to be broken into alternate protein and then the meat side of protein, and that's going to be like you're going to see we have yogurt and cheese and dairy already, but you're also going to see other alternate proteins, and then you're going to see beef and you're going to see chicken, and it's going to give you the same toolkits that you have for fruits and vegetables but for proteins. And because it's such a deep dive, it's going to take me a little bit longer to get this thing built. But once it's built, we'll announce it on our newsletter, and then you'll know it's available. And then you can look, if you're buying chicken, then you have a toolkit now that you can utilize in Harvest of the Month. Okay, so next slide, I think. Okay, so we're coming down to the resources. And if you see in the background, that's a picture of the poster for Harvest of the Month. You can print that and put it on the wall. We used to have copies, but I don't believe we have those currently at this time. But what's really nice, again, it's all broken into seasons. And that you can kind of look at that and go, oh, I get it, seasons. And we actually have frozen fruits and vegetables, has its own separate toolkit, because minimally processed fresh fruits and vegetables that have been frozen are 100% game changer for any school district, because it's local, and because when local is flash frozen, it's a heck of a lot better. The taste is just stupendous. So, we also have a toolkit for that. And what you're going to see is we have the Illinois Farm to School Network resource cache. And if we can click on that link, we'll show them what it looks like. Okay, so this is a Google folder, and it's a public folder that I share through Illinois Farm to School Network and Harvest of the Month. And what you'll see, this is strictly, if you can see it, there's going to be categories, right? And these categories are anything about farm to school and everything about farm to school. And you'll see a few oddballs in there, like grain recipes, because we had a grain local procurement day, so that went in there so folks could access it. It's a public folder. All you need is the link to get to it. But what's really nice about it is it separates farm to school into the basic categories. So there's gardens, there's garden resources, there's a curriculum. We have a full folder of Fresh from the Farm curriculum there, and a curriculum library. There's all these different things that you can just take and download and use. So it's a great way to find what you're looking for. There's Farm to Summer in there. There's Meet Your Farmer. There's a whole section on it. There's all these different tools here just for you to have and download and use, right? And if you're looking for something that's not here, shoot me an email and I can help you find it. Maybe I overlooked something and I'll add another folder. Okay, so we'll go back to the presentation, and then there's the Harvest of the Month resources, and that includes all the Fun Fact Fridays that we share every Friday all year long. We have maybe 3 different passes when we have a holiday on that weekend. But what you'll see here is Harvest of the Month resources that are, again, free and open. And they give you, if you click on maybe Fun Fact Friday, could you just click on that? Now you're going to see the months. Ooh, look at that, right? So if you go to the current month, or you're in January, okay. If you go to, say, the current month you're in, if it's January, look what we're featuring, right? So we're working on herbs, because you can grow herbs indoor. You can use dried herbs, and you can buy fresh herbs, right? Especially from indoor growers. There's honey, because yay, it's there. And then of course, dairy, that's a big one, right? Everything except milk, although we do have milk resources as well. So you can actually include your milk because it is local. And then we also have preserving food, because in the dead of winter, sometimes you need something else to share. That's a piece of education. But what you can do is you can connect that to the Harvest of the Month recipes, and you can quick pickle things. And then you can share information from the preserving food section, and you can actually do a celebration in February about pickling food or about preserving food. I'll bet kids don't have any idea how to preserve food. Well, that folder tells you all of it. And then if you look, it just goes every year, and every year I change it and roll it over and change the dates on the folders. So you actually are in the current year, because the dates do fall behind or go ahead. So if you just look at May, can you click on May real quick? Okay, so let's see, where are we? We are rhubarb, right? That's what we're going into. No, that's what we just had last weekend. This weekend, we're going into peas. And if you look, there's all the Fun Fact Fridays you could possibly imagine. there's logos, there's posters that you can print and hang up on your wall. So there's a Harvest of the Month peas poster that you can post. There's ones that are more directed to Harvest at Home, which is the next tab up on top there. And what that does is it gives you home-based information and facts. So now you can send a copy home, or you can ask your local, like your food connect, or your grocery store, or your food, like I'm trying to think of the word, I can't, food resources in town. You can ask them to share this poster because peas are coming in, and they may share the poster with you. And you can actually put your school name on the poster as well. There's room to change things and to adapt it to what you need. So all of these resources are available to you. They're all free. All you have to do is just click on the links, which you will have in the participation and the PDF participation. What we'll do is we'll send you a PDF of all the slides today, and they will have live links. And if you're having difficulty, you can just let me know and I'll shoot you a link. So this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg on all the resources that are available, because buying local food is great. Using it is even better. And the more you use it, the more intricate your usage is, the more you're expanding what you can do, what the possibilities are with Farm to School. Okay, we're going to go back now to the presentation. Okay, and we also have, again, resources. Hey, we have resources to menu your foods year round, and especially if you're in summer feeding. Why would you stop buying local if you're in summer feeding? I mean, my gosh, that's when Illinois is just rife with local food. But there's ways to menu it, there's tools to menu and suggestions, and some of these links that you're going to get have wonderful recipes, and everything's already accredited. They have information about tying your menus together to cycle menuing, all sorts of different information you need when you're taking local and fresh foods from around you, or even shelf stable foods that are local, and incorporating them into your menus. So these links again will be live when you receive that email tomorrow, and you can go ahead and click on them. Ours is the top one, and we have a full toolkit, but there's so many more Chef Ann recipes and menuing. Fantastic. I have to tell you, that website is amazing, and everything's just there to give away. No fees, nothing. They may ask who you are so they can tell their funders who hit the page, but that's it. So it's very, very open. It's all open sourced, and it's just wonderful to have these at your fingertips. So now you can create what's going to work for your district, and you can actually take it a step further and really make it amazing. I mean, it's just so much better when you check to see what's there, what you can take for yourself with no problem. You can download anything, and you can actually develop these things and move it along and try different things. And if they don't work, try something else. It's just great to have resources that you actually click on, because when you do click on them, it's amazing what you'll see. Okay, so we're going to go to the next slide. Okay, and this is just a little brief update about what's available right now, what's going on. We just closed the Food System Innovation Hub grants for this year. Some of you may have applied. And what's nice about this is having that link. Next year, we will again start them up only for the Spark Awards, but any school district in Illinois can apply for a Spark Award for, I think it's going to open in February of 2025, because we just ended the application process right now, and then the funds will be available in August. So not this school year, but the next, you can actually apply for one of these grants. It's up to $75,000. And it's just you building up your local sourcing and your utilization of the local foods. And for Spark, you can put equipment in your grant to make your kitchen more efficient. You can list a Roboku if that's what you need to cut up fresh fruits and vegetables. You can list a warming rack if you need to hold pans, all sorts of things that you may need, training for your staff. Ooh, you can actually write that into the grant. So you have funding to pay your staff to stay and actually train to utilize these local foods. There's all different ideas for Spark Awards, and it's on that website. So the smart person will be looking now and planning for February, right? So you can actually submit a Spark Award for Illinois next February or March, whenever it opens. I'm not sure the dates yet. But you can actually submit an award, application for award, and you can have it done ahead of time and line everything up that you need to line up. So now you're looking for local foods, you have LFS funds or not, and you're deciding how you want that to look in your district. And then you write for the Spark Award, and you're going to actually implement it. So now you're going to buy that piece of equipment you need. You're going to train some staff. You're going to host some tastings. You're going to connect to somebody in town, whether it be your health department or extension. You're going to connect to the local community garden. However you choose to see it, you get to write your Spark Award to make it happen. So just be aware that it's going to be a Spark Award for the next 4 years consecutive. And then the Innovation Awards are going to be 2 years apart, so 2 of them. So the first round just ended. The next round will open in 2 years. Again, that's a much larger piece of the pie, so you have to develop partnerships with that. You have to have farmers on board, and you have to decide how you're going to move more food into your school district, and that Innovation Award is up to $250,000. So, that's a bigger slice of the pie and a lot more thinking and development. Spark Award is easy breezy for schools, and the application is not hard at all. It's USDA funds, but not with all the grief coming from the applications that are mind-numbing at best. Ours is a lot easier to write for. A group of us got together and wrote these applications, so they're very understandable and very easy to create. And then if you need more resources, there's a whole bucket of resources for verifying farm food safety from the USDA. There's also the ISBE page, which has a lot of information if you're buying local for your child nutrition program. And it also has LFS information. And then there's, of course, our newsletter, which if you're not receiving the newsletter now, you should be, because there's a lot of information in that newsletter. Comes out once a month, and it is very well rounded. So if you're a K-12, there's a lot of resources, a lot of policy, a lot of info, a lot of program opportunities, and a lot of news articles about other K-12s. The same thing goes for early childcare. Same thing goes for feeding sites, like a residential site. And it also works for farmers as well. So it's a very long email, but you just find your section, and that's the one you're looking at. Okay, so now to allow me to stop talking for a few minutes and give you a chance to watch something that's very interesting, we're going to show you the Community Alliance with Family Farmers Farm to School Revolution video. It's only 7 minutes long, but it gives you an understanding from the farmer's perspective, from a food hub perspective, and from a successful K-12 food service director perspective. And it'll allow you to actually see how they all interchange with each other. And they'll talk about what the problems are for them and how they overcame them, what the benefits are. And it makes very interesting listening. So I'm going to take a break and let you guys watch this, and then we'll come back after that.
We live in a world where food has become increasingly distant from its source. In this video, we're going to talk to a farmer, a food hub, and a school to learn more about how to get your food into schools. This is the Farm to School Revolution.
My name's Rachel Sullivan. I'm the Farm Operations Manager at Frog Hollow Farm. We grow primarily stone fruit at Frog Hollow. So we try to catch schools at the tail end or the beginning of their school years, but some do purchase from us in the summer if they have programming. The three biggest challenges to sell to schools were pack style, transportation, and cost. The first challenge to understand was how to pack the fruit for school district. We aren't packing fruit the same way that we pack it for farmers market or CSA members or wholesale customers. Schools need fruit to be a certain size, so we needed to kind of understand how our different varieties fit into their categories of sizing. So we know that apricots are about 2 ounces a piece. They need to serve 4 ounces, so we know that 2 apricots is 1 serving. So then with that in mind, we can help figure out how many boxes they need per order and make sure to pack the fruit all consistent sizing because they don't want some larger and some smaller fruits. For transportation, a lot of school districts don't have a central warehouse. So unfortunately, that means we can't just go bring the district's entire order to one location, but we might have to go to 10 sites. So for Pittsburgh Unified School District this year, it's a new relationship. We really want to make it work. So we're actually delivering like 2 cases to 10 different schools in Pittsburgh, which is very close to us, but it's a lot of time. And we don't have refrigerated trucks. So we also have run into the issue of fruit getting a little bit too warm in transit because if you're going to 10 locations, it's taking longer. The fruit's really ripe. We pick our fruit to ripeness. It's very sweet and nutritious because of that, but it also means it's more delicate. That's definitely been a challenge for us, just basically a logistics challenge. So for some schools, we've actually decided to work through freight companies. So we'll work with Veritable Vegetable or Watsonville Coast who send refrigerated trucks to us. We load our fruit and they deliver to the schools. And that's great, but it does add cost. And that's the third issue is that schools don't have very much money to pay for food. Their budgets are small, and especially when you're buying organic produce, it costs more. So the process of price setting was like getting the number from Barbara of what price per pound, what their max is, what their ceiling is. They can't pay any more than this amount to get our peaches into their schools. And then our team did an analysis of how low we could possibly go for it to even be possible. And it was pretty much like the same number. And so we just went with that.
My name is Jacob. I am the general manager for Spork Food Hub. I work with a lot of local farms in this area and school districts in the area. And what I do is try and make our local supply chain a little bit more efficient and also open up new markets for small growers and family farms, sustainable farms, and also make it easier for school districts and other institutions to get access to a wide variety of high quality, flavorful, nutrient dense produce. I've worked with a lot of farmers, but I think just like figuring out for yourself what role wholesale plays in your farm business, and I think for a lot of beginning farmers, there's always more of a focus on farmers markets and CSAs, and that can be great because there's a higher margin, but it's a lot of work that goes into that. And you know, if you can portion out a part of your land and just think I'm going to grow this specifically for a wholesale market, it can be a good way to just move produce and like get a couple crops under your belt that you can grow at scale and just make a little bit of money. Yeah, so we work with over a dozen individual school districts and other restaurants and institutions. So when you send your availability to me, that's going out to a lot of different areas and it allows you to sell, you know, maybe 3 cases to one district, 4 to another district, 6 to another district. And instead of having to make those deliveries all over this area, you can just come to one drop, bring 30 cases, and we'll do the rest of the distribution. So that's kind of the benefit, is there's a lot more market access that we are kind of trying to build for farms. So farms reach out to us in a number of ways. You know, I meet people at conferences, or people cold call me, or I cold call or email growers to learn more about what they're growing and what they have. For me, what's easiest is to get the products that you have available, how much of those products you have available, and the price of those things. And then I can add that to our availability list and try and find a buyer from one of the districts we work with.
My name is Christina Lawson, and I am the Food Service Director for Western Placer Unified School District, located in Lincoln, California. Logistically, there are 3 really big things that we need. We're very interested in knowing what days you can deliver, how many sites farms can deliver to, and then what are the lead times for us to order. With those 3 key pieces of information, we can really get a farm up and running pretty soon. There are some things that I think would be helpful for a farmer to know to work with a school. Every school district is different. So what works for my district might not meet the needs of another district. So if they get a no or it's not the right time from one district, I would definitely encourage them to keep trying with others in their area. They can also ask the director, hey, if you're not interested or if this isn't working for you, do you have any other food service directors that you can introduce me to that might be interested? Another helpful piece would be to follow up with directors multiple times in different seasons, because again, if you're reaching out in the beginning of the school year, that's a really insane time for us. So I would definitely follow up again in the later fall. So just don't be scared to reach out multiple times if necessary. All of those things really do play for both a farm versus a food hub, but I will say there are a lot of benefits that we have found from working with our food hub, because now I'm only having to coordinate with one point person as opposed to 6 different farms trying to schedule deliveries, work on subs. So we have been able to really increase the amount of local items that we are providing every day through working with the food hub.
Okay, go ahead and pop us back. There we go. Okay, if you want to back it up one slide. Okay, on the second link, just so you can see it down there. I actually had this question come up last week. Somebody sent me an email and they were trying to locate food hubs anywhere in the region. They were a little lost. They just couldn't seem to connect. So I sent them to this page. This is on Harvest of the Month. So if you do not have a registration, just again, reach out to me. Let me know you want to register. It takes me 2 minutes to set you up, and then I'll send you back a password and just an introductory instructions. On this page lists every single food hub that I can find, and I do update it often, not only in our state, but in the surrounding states. So again, if you're one of those border school districts that are on the edge somewhere or close to the edge, you can actually work with another state. There's not an issue. If it's LFS, there's a 400-mile limit of total transportation or movement of the food to your district. But if you're on the state line or really close to it, a lot of these food hubs are close to you. So if you can't find one in Illinois, we seem to have a little less than some of the other states. And they're, of course, because Illinois is such a big, long state, what you'll see is they're very stretched out. So you'll see clusters of them. You can look in other states as well, and you can connect to these folks and see what they're doing. Are they, again, you have a profile that you created. Are they selling wholesale? Can they sell to a school district? Or, are they set up for this? Would they be interested in having that discussion with you? And then see what they can offer. Because a food hub's going to have more, like you saw in the video, a lot more variation and opportunity than a single farm, because a food hub sources, they're an aggregator. They're going to be sourcing from multiple sources. And what that allows you to do is to buy from multiple farms. And also, if you require larger quantities, you can't break it up into K-5 and middle school and high school. which is what some districts do. They buy local. If they can only get X amount, they'll put it in middle school. If they get X amount more, they'll add another section of their sites to it. But if you can't do that, you're looking for larger sources of food, food hubs have bigger quantities and they can achieve higher quantities. So, having that initial conversation with them is probably what you need to do, either email or phone. Again, supply them with your buyer profile so they know who you are and what you're looking for. Have that conversation and see what they can do. If they're not selling to schools right now, hey, maybe you can be their first customer, right? And they have better pricing as well, because when they work with multiple farms, they balance it. So it's a balancing act between the smallest farm and the largest farm, and how they can make sure everyone gets what they need to actually make a living, right? And you'll see them in Illinois. They'll be in clumps. We have one, I don't know if it's on there or not. They're not up yet because they're still working on it. Nope, they're not there yet. We're still waiting for them to be fully formed. They're in central Illinois, but when they are, we will add it to the list. They're still in process. And the one on the bottom, Dream Distributors, they ran into issues, and I think they're down to a skeleton of the business that they once were. So I'm not sure how much you can get from them, but I didn't take them off because they are still selling. But there's food hubs everywhere in every state. So if you're up in Northern Illinois, you don't have to just buy from Illinois. You can look to Wisconsin. Wisconsin has several that are Madison area and a little bit further north. So, there's a lot of opportunities there. Again, so that's that link that's going to be in the slides that you can click on. So if you want to look for larger amounts of food, or if you want to look for a variety of foods and you're looking at food hubs, that's where you're going to go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take questions if anyone has them. And if there's any in the chat, you can go ahead and read them out to me, or I can actually bring the chat up. And so just if you have a question, just unmute yourself and ask away. If it's something I can't provide you with today, I will definitely follow up on it and provide it, in an email to you shortly.